What's good people, and welcome back to the channel here on Cooperoid Productions. My name is BK, and this is the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy podcast, episode number 84, Dead of Winter Review, a spoiler review of this new film currently in theaters, and I'll be giving my thoughts on this film. And what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is doing very well. Glad to be back doing another episode for you, and thank you for all the new subscribers, the new listeners. Appreciate you all listening and watching, and just thank you so much. And if you are new here, welcome to this channel, to this podcast. Subscribe for more, as I do spoiler reviews of movies, and I mix in the production details and things that most reviews, I would say, don't really talk about in the reviews. I do talk about the on-screen choices as well and off-screen, and in terms of the roles that are mentioned, I highlight the actual people in those roles and some of the projects they have done as well. And then I also talk about some TV coverage. I also do Broadway coverage as well, in terms of seeing live Broadway shows in person, and then I dissect those plays, as I will be seeing the next play for me is going to be The Sound of Music. I'll be seeing that in October, so a few weeks away. Very excited to do that. So subscribe for more if you want to hear that. I also have a blog as well that will be in the description. But today I'm here to talk about the new film Dead of Winter, and it is directed by Brian Kirk, and his previous projects include 21 Bridges film that was in 2019. He also directed 3 episodes of Game of Thrones, the great HBO show, back in 2011. Those 3 episodes. He also directed The Day of the Jackal, the Peacock series in 2024, 3 episodes on that show. And he has directed 1 episode of Dexter, the Showtime show, a 2009 episode. Now, the cast of this film includes Emma Thompson, Judy Greer, Mark Manchek, Gia Wise, Laura Marsden, and Dalton Lieb. Now, overall for this film, I really liked it. I really love this film and had a great time with it. And starting off with the lead, Emma Thompson, I think this was such a fun and interesting choice to have the lead be, and what my grad school professor used to tell me, a person of a seasoned age, being the lead of this movie, doing what she had to do in terms of the physicality of what her character had to do in the conditions she had to do it in the snow and the ice and the temperatures. Now, granted, I'm sure there was a stunt double, a whole stunt team working with her, but I liken this to what Viola Davis did, her role in Woman King and G20. Now, knowing those 2 movies, and I know that she did a huge chunk, a majority of her stunts at her seasoned age as well. Now, I don't know how much Emma Thompson has done in this film, but I could imagine, just from my opinion, that she has done some of the stunt work in this film. And to do it, I just think that it's so great to have her in this role and doing the things that she did. And I just enjoyed her performance, along with her physicality of doing the physical stunts and what she had to do, but also just the dialogue, her emotion she showed on her face, displaying that all throughout the film. As this story, as I segue to the story of this film, it is about a woman that is remembering the life of her husband as she has to go up into the mountains in the middle of nowhere and spread his ashes in this lake that they were at, that's where they had their first date. And she has to go up there and do that. And she's remembering her husband throughout this film, and that's where she had to go. And as she's remembering her husband and getting ready to dig into this ice so that she can access the water and spread the ashes, She hears something and she goes, and unfortunately she sees there is a kidnapping while going asking for directions, and the story goes from there. And she sees that someone needs help, and she takes it upon herself to go and try to rescue this girl. I want to go back to the beginning of the film because there was a prologue. One production thing I really like, a technical thing, was the cinematography of this film. The the wide shots at the beginning in the prologue of the truck going over the bridge and then panning the camera back and showing the wide shot of the bridge and the ice, as well as the other wide shots of the lake as well, with the ice covered lake. There were multiple shots of this of the wide shot, and I'm sure that was probably, one would say, helicopter footage and or drone footage of those. But I really liked how they panned back and showed those shots. Really, really great job by the cinematographer and his whole team, director of photography. And getting back to the story, this had a good enough amount of action, but the way everything was structured in this story from start to finish, there were multiple flashbacks of her remembering the time of with being with her husband, from the time they were dating, then being proposed and being married, and almost having kids, and then unfortunately losing the child, and all the way through the end as she became his caretaker. The way they weave those in, and she was remembering those even in the moments as she's trying to save this little girl. And in those moments, I believe it gave her strength. It gave her things in terms of remembering how to do things that helped her in real time, in the present. So it was just so great to see. So great job by the writers, and just the structuring of how this story went. It never felt out of place whenever they did a flashback as well. So I just loved how they did this story, and remembering her husband and seeing them when they're young and older and through their life. So great job there. And then in terms of the villains, you think it's one person, but it's actually not. You see, if you've seen the trailer, you think it's this guy that we see in the trailer, but it actually ends up being the wife that's the dangerous one. She's the one behind everything. And so going through that, and then trying to call for help, and then she gets help, but then they don't really help it at all because they end up being dead, and she is pretty much on her own. And again, doing it at the seasoned age that Emma Thompson's character is, and Emma Thompson is as a whole, just really a great choice and a fun choice to do this. The rest of the cast was solid. A few people had some moments, but I just really like what Emma Thompson did with her performance, with the physicality, and also with her emotion, her emotiveness, showing that on her face, holding on to that small box that had his ashes in it ultimately, but also had some things in there that helped her along the way as she was trying to save this young girl's life. And so another thing I want to mention in terms of the production is the score of the film. I think the score really elevated the film in different moments when it needed to be. It added to the different scenes. So great job by the composer and everyone on that team. I really liked how it elevated this film. So that's another technical thing I wanted to mention, but there wasn't too much technical things. And then the action set pieces, some of them enjoyed that as well. And then just filming and the conditions that they had to film to get this in these cold temperatures. Really great job. So the only thing I would say that I had a problem with would be the way the story ended. Ultimately, the character of Emma Thompson's character unfortunately died saving the girl. She did save the girl. She spread the ashes and then went on to be with her husband. So my thing was, just personally, I wish she would have lived and not died there. But I understand the reasoning for it. I just don't agree with it, but I understand it. So that's my one nitpicky thing about it. Otherwise, great film. I enjoyed it. It's a different film. It's not the one of those big tentpole movies and whatnot, but I really like this film. If you get a chance, I would recommend that you check it out. Is this Blu-ray worthy? I'm about 50-50 on it. I would say maybe yes. I would love to see how they handle the conditions um, in wherever they film. I would say yes. This is Blu-ray worthy. I would add it to the collection for sure. Okay, that is all I have for this film that I really enjoyed. I hope you got something out of that. If you did, subscribe to the channel for more, as I will be seeing more movies. And I mentioned I do reviews of Blu-rays, as I'm doing a nerdy rewatch series of older films that I've watched a long time ago or haven't seen many years, or newer Blu-rays. And so the first one in that series is episode 82, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. That episode is out now. I will link it in the description. I rewatched that and talked about it. I'm currently working on the next nerdy rewatch film, and that is The Dark Knight. I will be talking about that in the next episode for the Nerdy Rewatch series. So check that out. That will be coming out soon. Excited to get that out to you as well. And the next video that you will see here on the screen will be the previous episode that I did see also, which was Eleanor the Great. And that is a film I enjoyed. That was episode 83. You will see that on the screen coming up here, and check that out. Subscribe for more. You can follow me on the podcast on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcast for those of you that want to listen only. And until next time, we will talk soon.